We
When
can't,
was that
we
song
can't,
around?
we can't.
70s?
We seem to get things done in a matter of,
Not quite.
I can picture the guy that sang it.
Good.
Okay. We're good.
All right.
Another.
So, are you planning?
Just to be,
I thought they were gonna make a presentation to the council.
nope. Craig wanted to make sure that it wasn't about yes.
She has them like doing 2 pages and do this and do that. I'm not gonna read all that. I just want a screenshot.
Changed our parent night at school to Thursday, so I had Tuesday off.
Give me a call, I'll be more than happy to go in. And if you feel the need, we'll just tell, Craig we'll kick it. Or Deb. You're largely in charge.
Sure, go ahead. Go ahead early.
I'd like to call the Ferrisburg City Council meeting to order tonight, Tuesday, September 3rd, 2019. Roll call, please.
Mayor Hop,
Here.
Councilmember Kennedy.
Here.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember Twa.
here,
Councilmember O'Donnell. Councilmember Carlson. Councilmember Blees.
Yep.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we excuse Mr. O'Donnell and Mr. Carlson.
Support.
Okay, motion support. Further discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. At this time, please stand for the invocation given by Councilmember Twa, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and to help us as we gather together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us a desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that you would challenge each other to reach higher and further to do our best that we can. We ask this in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Okay, item number 5, public comments. This time on the agenda is for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to City Council. Time for public comments will be given when an agenda item is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please raise your hand to be recognized by the mayor. After being recognized by the mayor, please stand, give your name and address for the record. Proceed with your comment or questions. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Any public comments? Okay. Hearing none, moving down to item 6, consideration of approval of consent agenda. A, approve the August 19, 2019 City Council meeting minutes as printed.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. New business, we're down to 7A. Presentation by Barbara Lee Van Horsen. Okay, you can come on up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the honor of presenting to you this evening. I am delighted to talk to you about the updates happening, the impact that's happening at the Momentum Center. Most of you know us as Extended Grace. We actually started meeting here at Ferrisburg, and we've now started referring to ourselves as the Momentum Center. So I just put that out there. We're trying to lessen confusion, so you'll hear less about Extended Grace and more about the Momentum Center as we move forward. So I want to share with you a story. I want to introduce you to my son, Alex Selb. He is now 24 years old, and he's doing very well. But when he was a junior in high school, he had his first break from reality. When he was a senior, he had his second break. And then 5 years ago, we went through a very long, grueling 5-month process in and out of acute hospitalization, residential care, trying to find the right medication, trying to get him stabilized with his diagnosis of schizophrenia. Now, eventually, we did that. We found the right medication, and he's doing very well. But by the time we did that, he'd lost all of his friendships. Now, we know that the most important thing for maintaining or regaining one's health is human connection. But how do you even go about doing that in those kind of circumstances? Now, our story is unique, our own. It's very personal, but it's not unique. 1 in 4 people will experience a significant mental illness during their lifetime. That means 3 out of 4 of us have a loved one who will have a mental illness during their lifetime. None of us are immune. We're all dealing with this in one way or another. In our own county, 17% of adults report depression and 15% report anxiety disorders. And among our teens, we're really at a crisis level. In a classroom right now of 30 students, 5 of those students have seriously considered suicide, and 2 of them have made an attempt. We just can't overstate the importance of this work. So again, we have a crisis. The good news is we know that 70 to 90% of people get better with some kind of treatment. The bad news is 60% of people with mental illness never seek treatment at all. And the number one barrier to that is stigma. In fact, 58% of people with mental illness say that the stigma is more difficult and challenging to deal with than the mental illness. So given those kind of challenges, that's where the Momentum Center comes in. We started by having community conversations. We have our Inspire events. We have town halls on mental illness. We have movie nights. And we started normalizing the conversation around mental illness, addiction, and disability, to the point where the county actually asked us to bring our model of conversation to other parts of the county as part of the Community Health Improvement Plan. So in April, we had our first town hall meeting in April, town hall meeting in Holland, and that took place in April. We also opened the Momentum Center for social engagement. And the way we did this was both the community conversations we were having and the fact that we were able to receive money from the mental health millage. So one of the reasons that I'm wanting to get to the municipalities is to let you know how important that millage is and how it's being used. So we receive funding to do social and recreational programming in this quadrant of our county. We have a program for adults and for teens and youth as young as 11, but I'd like to take you inside the center. This is where Imagine this. You've just been diagnosed with a mental illness. You're doing well. You're stable now on medication, but you haven't been able to reconnect with the friends you had before you became so ill. In the past, you probably would have just stayed home, becoming more and more isolated. But today, there's another option. Today, you can become a member of the Momentum Center. For just $1 a year, you can discover social engagement and recreational opportunities for adults with mental illness, disabilities, and addictions. The center also houses Just Goods Gifts and Cafe, where you can purchase fair trade and social cause merchandise, and features a $1 menu that includes local baked goods, coffee, and tea. Your gift today would allow us to open the center 7 days a week and to offer opportunities for young people under the age of 18, demonstrating our commitment to creating a healthier community for everyone. 1 in 5 people have a disability. 1 in 4 people have a mental illness. People just like me and just like you. People who now have the opportunity to experience new life in a community that is safe, welcoming, and is dismantling stereotypes and stigma. Those who struggle with mental illness, addictions, and disabilities have genuine barriers to overcome. Your donation today helps break down those barriers and demonstrates firsthand what it means to extend more grace to one another. Thank you. So that was part of a crowdfunding campaign that was successful, and as a result, we were able to open our Momentum Center teen program a year ago, and then in May, we extended that to 11 and 12-year-olds. Again, $1 a year to join and participate in all of the activities and outings. But I want to tell you about the impact. We are, in addition to normalizing the conversation, giving people purpose and hope. In some cases, we're literally saving lives. This is an excerpt from a longer letter that was given to me by one of our members, where she talks about the fact that she's alive today because she found people who cared whether her choice was death or life. And there's several of those examples. And now we have the statistics to back it up. So when we first started, we had a PhD candidate who put data collection tools in place because we knew we were doing something nobody else was doing. We knew we'd want to share it if it worked, and we knew to do that we'd have to have the data. So we put those tools in place, and now they've been extra analyzed by a PhD scientist, Travis Andrews, who's moved into the area and is donating his time. We have found that members that report moderate to severe depression at intake experience a statistically significant decrease in their depression after a year. Members who report severe to moderate anxiety experience a statistically significant decrease after 6 months. And people who report a moderate to significant amount of loneliness experience a statistically significant decrease after a year. This graph shows all three of those significant challenges together and the impact over 6 months and 1 year. We also have a sociology student from Grand Valley who's been doing analysis to figure out why it works. We know it works. Now we're exploring the reasons why. And he's collected a variety of quotes from a number of our members that we'll be sharing in a variety of ways. This is my son Alex today. He grills the hot dogs and the hamburgers for our community dinner and movie nights. Last Friday of every month, open to everybody, so you can spread the word. Anybody can come. 6 o'clock, we have a meal. 7 o'clock, we watch a movie, free and open. Our ultimate goal is to create a stigma-free community. And what have we learned so far? We've learned that it works. So I'm happy to answer any questions you have. I did bring a paper with me that shows background. Also brought flyers for Do you have any questions for me?
Have you been in kind of like Josh Groban, the singer, is into this mental health thing and has grant awards? Might be something you want to check into if you haven't already.
I have not checked into that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh Groban. Love the music. I will check that out.
Yeah, it's one of his pet projects is mental health, and especially with young.
Fantastic.
So just passing that along.
And we are working to find ways to expand, duplicate, replicate the model. I'm actually presenting at the Arnova National Conference in San Diego in November. That's the Association for Research of Nonprofits and Volunteer Agencies. And we're working to put the paper, when we have our paper finalized for Arnova, we're going to submit it. We hope to get it published. We hope that NAMI, the National Association for Mental Illness, will help us spread the word about this model as well.
Christmas buy you chili cook-off next year. You're it.
Yes,
Yep.
Very excited about that. And I have to apologize. I just realized I never introduced David Lewis. David is the president of our board. And again, we couldn't do what we're doing without volunteers, and especially those with the kind of heart and commitment that David has shown to our organization. Thank you.
Okay, moving down to 7B. Discussion and take action, if appropriate, to adopt a resolution to sell parcel numbers 70-03-16-326-029 and 70-03-16-179-015 and 70-03-16-179-019 city-owned Verplank parcels.
Connor,
Yes.
I would make a motion that we, adopt a resolution to sell parcels number blah, 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 blah. I'm not gonna read it.
There's motion and support. Any further discussion regarding this resolution? For selling the parcels? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor stating aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Now we're moving down to item 7C. Discussion and take action, if appropriate, to place on the October 7 City Council agenda consideration to adopt a proposal resolution regarding selling a section of the land which is approximately 128 feet of street frontage on Carmen Drive located between the two parcels, which the resolution shall remain on file at the city clerk for not less than 15 days prior to consideration by City Council, and that a summary of the minutes of the September 3rd, 2019 meeting for the City Council be published in the Grand Haven Tribune. There's information in regards to this. First, we need a motion support before we,
Your Honor,
Yes.
I'd make a motion, to take, what do we need here? To adopt a proposed resolution regarding the selling a section of land, you know, blah, 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 blah.
okay. So there's a motion? And support, okay. Further discussion regarding this unknown parcel that's within the city?
I'm sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
Is this, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this a parcel of vacated property by the city at one point, or is this something next to the property?
Look on the map on, there's a parent gap, it has this map here.
Yep.
So that parcel there, when we map out some of the old plats, it comes up with no, doesn't belong to anybody, doesn't belong to any subdivision or the original plat of the village of Ferrisburg. So really, the title work or who owns that property is unknown. We think over the years, when they platted village of Ferrisburg, and then over the years as the surveys got better, the measurements got different, and that piece was never claimed into any of the plats. So it's just a gap where there's no ownership. It doesn't. We don't know where it goes, and the city just cuts the grass there now. The developer of the blank parcel is interested in purchasing it. He's offered to pay for that parcel the same square footage price he's paying for the parcels to the east of that. It's an important piece to his development. He needs to do that parcel to get the water and sewer in. It was not included in the appraisal. It was not included in the purchase agreement. That's why we're going through this process again. Checking with the city attorney, there's no title to it. The city would just quitclaim any interest we had in that parcel to the developer.
It's 128 feet road frontage, correct?
Approximately, yes.
If we put this out to an RFQ, what would the possibility be of the value of that piece of property being more than the $5,964 that was offered?
I don't know the answer. We'd have to do that to find out.
So what you're proposing that the city signs a quitclaim deed over to Mr. Camps, how can we quitclaim a deed a parcel we technically don't own?
It's not gonna be, we're just gonna quitclaim any interest the city has in that parcel. If somewhere down the road that we find out the city owned that parcel, we already quitclaim that to the developer. That's a risk the developer would have to take.
Mr. Camps, would you like to approach?
The other option is to buy title. That takes a little bit longer. I think our comfort is probably pretty high given the amount of research that we've done and Craig has done in the city attorney. I think we're pretty comfortable with it. To answer your question, I'm not an appraiser. I am in this business. I would think it's going to be very, very similar in value. But more importantly, I think for everyone to understand, the water line runs and extends south through that property. There is no easement for that, which would make one believe that the city had ownership or rights to it. In order for us to get water and sewer to develop the property, that's where it has to come from. So without this piece, everything we're proposing on Thursday of this week, we can't do without water and sewer.
I have a question for you. Could this development of yours go ahead if you had an easement to the water sewer lines through that property?
It knocks out one of the, it really takes away one of the parcels, so I'll show you here real quick. So it limits the, I guess to answer quickly, it limits what we can do. So there's three, and another piece of information. So there's 3 permanent parcel numbers that you approved in the earlier motion. The original survey from Moore and Brugink, their legal description includes this property. So what we originally drew followed the Moore and Brugink survey, which includes this land. Unfortunately, then Craig and I had more discussion, and the 3 permanent parcels don't include this piece, even though the legal description includes this piece. So that was where all the confusion was. So based on that, we drew get my bearings.
Now, that's based on having a
This is
parcel.
based on having the parcel,
Okay,
which
okay.
our engineers did based on the legal description
Gotcha.
from Moore and Brugink. So the parcel, and then there's the vacated division, so
Do you know the size of that lot?
it's, yes.
I think it's probably 128 by 120, maybe 110.
Yeah, yes, I think one, yeah.
Yeah.
I think by one tech. That sound right, Craig?
Yep, sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, so when we discovered it, again, the legal description includes it. The 3 parcel numbers doesn't include it. When Craig saw this, he's like, hang on, wait a second. And that's when we sat down with the engineer, Craig, and really determined, kind of figured out together that there's this gap property that nobody knows whose and where it exists. But again, the water is running right through it, which would lend us to believe that the city assumed felt they had ownership of it, or I can't imagine you would bring your water main to the rest of that development without it. So, so anyway, when we looked at the square footage, the appraisal then didn't include it. So as I said to Craig, we're not looking for anything for free. We're willing to pay the same per square foot that we're paying for the rest of the property, and it was like another $59.20 or something like that. Whatever it comes to. Same. Yep. Yeah, with the appraisal price on a per square foot for the 3 parcels, we took that based on this square footage, Rebecca, and that's what that equals. So we'd be paying the exact same thing that was you just approved for us to do.
Authorize this sale to Mr. Camps. He made a good faith offer, not knowing the legalities of, because what you bid on was included this.
Right, which is part of which was the legal description.
Wait, yeah, right, so.
And we're willing to pay,
Right.
understanding now it's actually more, we're willing to pay the fair,
Right.
the same
So
pricing.
I think for whatever reason, there's a gap in the
Right.
ownership here. I don't see any liability to the city if we do this. Am I correct in that, Craig? That if we allow it, quit claim it to him, and he's got all responsibility if somebody comes forward in the future?
It's his risk, that's correct.
Okay, so the city has no liability here whatsoever?
No risk to the city once we do the quick claim.
Well, I guess my thought is, you made a good faith effort thinking that was included, which it was in your
Yep.
legal description that we gave you.
Yep.
So I think we should approve this and let it go forward.
Any other further discussion? No? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor stating aye?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr.
you.
Camps.
Yep, thanks.
Okay. Moving down to item 7D. Discussion, take action if appropriate to approve the mayor's appointment of Michael Tier to the Kitchell-Linquist Hartford Dune Preserve Board for a term ending July 1, 2022. And that application was in your packet.
So moved.
Okay.
Support.
Motion support. Further discussion?
Your Honor, has the Kitchell-Linquist Dune Preserve Committee endorsed this?
Yes. They have met the applicant and made a recommendation to council to approve his appointment.
Okay, thank you.
There's a motion support. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, stating aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Moving down to 7E, discussion, take action if appropriate to schedule a work session as a regular agenda item on September 16th. Is that something we want to do? And to review? My suggestion would be to review the 2019 goals where we're at this point, and then also add on to that Smith's Bridge, because that will be the council meeting following the public forum that they will have in reviewing the second report on the bridge.
Was 2019 the strategic plan?
No, just our goals,
Oh,
our 2019 goals.
Have we filled them out? And what about Craig's?
Okay,
evalu-
hold on, we'll get to it, just, to add that to the, that wouldn't be a work session, that would have to be an agenda item.
Yes, but she interrupted me, now I'm lost.
This would be a review of the 2019 goals. We're
Right.
going to start working on 2020 goals in a couple months. That's why we want to just have a quick review of what we've done so far.
So
Okay,
hold
so
that
we
thought, we'll
will,
come back to that, hold that thought.
so we, it's been a long day. So we're gonna appraise what we have done on the 2019 goals and set goals going forward to 2020. Am I
All
correct?
right,
in
that'll
that?
be a task for city council in December to start working on 2020
With
goals.
With the
Council.
new council.
Okay,
The new council
Alright,
be
I
brought in.
understand now.
Yep.
okay, so we have,
Notice
City
I
co-
was quick to say new council.
so we'll have the city council goals, review them.
Mhm.
Smith's Bridge discussion.
Mhm.
Okay, and then Craig's evaluation is later,
That wouldn't be on a work session, that would be an agenda item.
the next.
We
the next
have
group.
everybody's. Rich Carlson did a PDF, but I have to get somebody to print it off. But
You better-
everybody's turned it in. Tim and I just haven't been able to get together yet.
Okay,
But
you don't want me running?
give us a date, we'll get it done.
Well, then let's schedule it the following regular council meeting.
That would be December
That would be
or November. It'd be
October.
October. God, Mike, you got me confused now.
Hey,
This is for
welcome
when?
to my world.
Oh, September 16th. Okay, so you
So
want
Craig's
Craig?
evaluation, October 7th? That work?
October 7th for Craig's evaluation.
We do expect you to be here, by the way. You stuttered.
Whatever, I'm just waiting for them to tell me when to put it on the agenda.
Okay,
So
that work for everybody?
anything additional that you'd like to add to the work session for the September 16 council meeting?
Nope.
You have those 2 items?
There was something, but I forgot. You interrupted me. I got a one-track mind. You kicked it off the track.
Oh, I got something.
Yes.
A resident asked me again about the stop sign at the corner of Ridge and Pine Street. If we were gonna talk about, cause Mike talked about something about looking at other streets for safety issues and stuff, traffic lights and stop signs and whatever like that.
Yeah, can we throw that on the work session? What was suggested was a flashing light at Van Wagner, 168th, and doing a traffic study on Pine and.
Correct. The traffic engineer is looking at that. We have not received his report yet. So
Okay.
once we get that, we'll put it on the
Traffic
agenda.
engineering. Okay, cool.
So we're looking at the flashing light at Van Wagner too, or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So that would need to be on a work session, so we have additional information.
Well, it depends on what the report says, whether we put it on just a regular agenda item, if there's action to be taken.
All right.
Have
Yes.
we put out requests for bid for the back area here?
Contacted 2 landscapers, showed them what we're looking at. They're working up a quote. We have not received it yet.
Okay.
Expect it sometime in this week.
All right, thank you.
That is in process.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional? No? Moving down to item 8, public comments. No? Okay. Pardon me? Okay. And then we're moving down to reports, item 9, city manager,
No report?
city council members. Councilmember Toa,
No report.
Councilmember DeWitt,
No report.
Councilmember Kennedy.
Beautification Committee will be meeting. Oh, when is the next meeting, Craig? I had it. I know it's gonna be next month. The second Monday of each month, the 9th. Thank you, Debbie. They do the Halloween party for the kids, so that will be coming up rather quickly, for the citizens, or it's open to the community, for the community Halloween party, which will be later on in October, so we're hitting the ground running next month.
Okay, perfect.
And a report.
Councilmember, please.
The Recreation Committee will be meeting again on Wednesday, September 11th, 5:30 p.m. A reminder that the community build for the Ferrysburg Fire Barn Park new playground equipment will be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, October 2nd to 5th. And a report.
I just had a couple things. One, to thank the community for supporting the Smith's Bayou Chili Cook-Off. It was a great success, beautiful weather. And also during that event, out of the 13 years, we had our first medical. And our chief and supporting EMTs arrived and handled the situation very well in a very timely manner. And so, thank you very much for them. That's it. End of report.
Adjourned.
Support.
All right.
Jim, John, no spot.
So did chili kill somebody?
No, the lady.
The chili was too hot.
It's a little too spicy.
There was some challenges along the way at that point.